This is for either one of you, but in that first half especially, what did Penn State do defensively that kind of took you guys out of your sets and just kind of gave you some trouble?
I think our shots didn't fall. They didn't really took us out, I think, because we had great looks, great shots. Our shots just didn't fall from outside the three and inside too. Yeah.
Jeremy?
Andres, you gave the team an offensive boost, but what did Penn State, did they bother you guys, or what was they were playing pretty well the last couple games? You guys were too. Just what was the difference for them to win?
Both team was playing hard. I think like Giorgi said, our shot didn't fail in the first half, and that's something that we need to keep back on and keep working on.
Rob?
Giorgi, Mike Watkins said 5 block shots today. It was hard to get the ball past him. Was he most challenging post defender that you faced this year?
I wouldn't really say so. I just didn't play smart, got emotional, I think, didn't control myself. There are a lot of great players in this league, so I wouldn't say he's, the best defender or whatever. I just didn't play smart enough, to find a better angle to score, fake him, I was just playing just not really smart, that was it.
Isaac, right?
Andres, I felt like you brought a big time spark, and what was working for you offensively tonight? Why were you able to get to the rim so easily?
I think it was I started playing hard, bringing energy from the bench. Then, my teammate was finding me, giving me the ball when I was open, and I think that I got the opportunity to get to the rim, and that's what I took.
Eric?
For either one of you guys down the stretch, you got close, got to within 4, but you just couldn't get over that hump. Just what do you kind of attribute that final stretch where you guys just weren't able to really get things going?
We were fighting, I think, but sometimes the other team makes plays. When we got close, I think we scored. Io got a dunk, and after that they made a layup. So once you make a play like that, when we had a dunk, you can't let them score. You got to get another stop. You have to get like 4 stops in a row. But they scored on a layup, and that really kills you. And then they just kept going. They kept making plays. That was it.
In the middle?
This is for either of you guys. How deflating is it losing today in front of the sold-out crowd and with the run that you guys have just been on?
I think we've been playing hard. I think sometimes you play hard and the score doesn't come out the way that you want, but that's something that you never have to give up. Like, you have to keep working hard and, just keep working hard as a team and moving the ball, playing defense. And I think we're going to make our run back again. We just have to keep our head up and keep working.
Brad?
Penn State's they were very physical, bumping you on the handoffs and trying to, keep you from getting into the lane. And also, even when Giorgi, when you get the ball inside, you talk about their physical play and how that affected you.
They're a pretty physical team, I mean, I would say, everybody in the Big Ten physical. They trying to bump us at a 2-man game every time we trying to run it. And I think we just, like I said, we just need to keep executing and moving the ball and finding the open guys.
Scott? We need a mic right here.
Giorgi, it seemed like just Penn State came out with some pretty good energy, and I think you guys maybe found that eventually in the second half. Just what did it take maybe to match what they were doing?
We never try to match what the other team is doing. We always try to set our tone. We never look at our other team's energy. Their energy is great. We always look at us. We have to set the tone. We run, we play defense. So they did their thing. It worked for them. But we always try to make game at our pace, play like how we play, do what we do. That's what we try and do. Today we didn't do it, but that's okay. We're gonna keep working, keep moving forward.
Isaac?
How special is it for you guys to have the Flying Illini back in town and get to see some of these guys?
That is big time. Personally, I'm really sad we didn't win when they were here. They were really supportive. They pumped us up at the halftime. They are the history of this university. That's what we're trying to be when we in 20, 30 years, whenever. But it's great to have him here. We were really excited. We was trying to win for them, but unfortunately we could not.
Andres, you guys were down 4 and you had the chance to get within 2 and you drove to the lane and Watkins was there. Did you guys feel like after that it was kind of a pretty big uphill battle? Did you feel like that was a big turning point in the game?
I think it was the game was close, like you said, and I was trying to make a play, like he was in foul trouble, and I was trying to get him out, like trying to get his fist, and fortunately I couldn't get the foul, but I think we just didn't get back and settled trying to get a stop back again, and then I think they make a run on that point and didn't take us.
This is a great example of what happens in Big Ten basketball when you show up flat and not ready to play. And nothing against Penn State, but we were really flat. Penn State deserved to win the basketball game. They played much, much harder than we did in every facet. Every 50-50 ball, the aggression. We let Watkins again just dominate the game in his minutes. And then it's the one thing that we've got to figure out how to do is guard a guy like Stevens. And he's a matchup problem. And he had his way with us in the first half. And then it led to opportunities. He's a good player. He makes everybody better. But Penn State deserves all the credit. Pat's got them playing great, and they're fighting and competing. And we had 5 turnovers the first half. When was the last time that happened? And that'll show you how porous our defense was the first half. But again, give Penn State credit. And the great thing now is we get ready to take on a Purdue team and another ranked basketball team.
Penn State, other teams have come out and maybe adjusted at halftime. They came out in the beginning and just kind of going 5-out high ball screen and weren't really running any of their sets, just kind of trying to take you off the dribble. And they were able to get to the rim a lot with that. Is that something you expected, or was that a different?
Worked on it for 3 days. And when you don't fight with ball pressure, and I mean fight on the ball to guard it, Wheeler, no offense to him, is not a guy who is considered a great jump shooter. His numbers don't show that at all. And yet, it was just right at us. And then we handled 2 ball screens very poorly, in which Watkins got a lob. And then we rotated, which we don't do, and they hit a 3. So it was breakdowns. It was more lack of energy, lack of communication than anything else.
Jeremy?
Brad, you've shut down some of the better players in the Big Ten, some of the best players in the Big Ten and best teams. What about Watkins and Stevens really give you guys issues, just how they play?
They play really, really hard. They have a lot of dog in them, and I mean that in a good way. That's the biggest problem. They're unrelenting. And, Stevens is 6'8", 230. AJ's fighting. And that's something that is a challenge for us. And then you give Watkins great length. He's an outstanding defender. I think he's the elite interior defender in our league with that length. And, when it seemed like every time Giorgi rotated, he got an offensive rebound. And we didn't do a very good job. You've got to crack down on him hard, and you've got to move him because he's got length. And we didn't do a good job of that today.
They're also very physical with you guys on your handoffs, your weaves, everything. Is that a lot of your youth just had trouble with that? I mean, obviously Dre had a good day against that physical pressure, but the other guys maybe struggled a little bit.
Yeah, Dre's physically strong. Dre loves to absorb contact. He loves to initiate it. So he's fine. He can get through all of that. And that's, I'm sure, a big part of their game plan. They set on top of us and beat us over the top of it. And then we got standing, and we got where we weren't maybe passive is the right word, But again, and I felt early we got the ball in the paint, and yet I think it was just not being prepared. One of the first plays of the game, a little dump off to Giorgi and hits him right in the chest. He wasn't ready for it, and that's again where we have to be better. We have to be more mature, and everything they did caused us problems today.
9 of 18 layups, 6 of 20 from 3. What do you think went into that? Just you guys being flat, their physicality, what?
Well, let's don't just stop there. Let's stop at 18 of 28 from the free throw line. That's a mental preparation. That's prep. When you can go 20 of 22 in a game, you're usually dialed in. Again, let's give Penn State their due credit, and I want to make sure that because they whipped us, they deserve to win the game. But when you're not mentally ready to play, those are the kind of numbers that you have. And you can't miss layups, and you can't miss just easy putbacks, but free throws are uncontested, and when you're not mentally dialed in, you miss them.
The way you've played the last month, did this game surprise you just in terms of that effort and prep? Or?
Yes and no. This game was going to present some challenges, and like no other, because of Stevens. Stevens is a guy that because of his physicality and his strength and his ability to beat you off the bounce, he's 20 and 10 in his last 5, and he's shooting the ball from 3, and he's getting to the foul line, and then he's becoming a facilitator on that. That's a really hard matchup for us. So I knew that was going to present a problem. I also knew how hard they were playing. And, that all starts with Wheeler. Wheeler's one of the hardest rocking cats in our league. And he got him started great offensively, and he got him started great defensively.
Brad, was that a planned out technical foul? I know you worked pretty hard for it, and your team seemed to respond to it.
Well, I should have got it about 10 minutes earlier. I don't have the best voice in the world right now, so it's pretty hard to bark at him. My coat toss didn't go very far last time, so I thought that, what the hell, I'll kick the scores table. And I just, I was going to try to fight and try to create some emotion, some energy. Should have done it earlier.
Scott?
Giorgi gets his first double-double of the season. Just what did he maybe do better rebounding-wise, and what can he keep doing?
I'm not sure how well he played, to be very honest. I thought from my standpoint, the level of expectation I have for him, and I'm not trying to be critical of him. I mean, it's great he's got 10 rebounds. We talked about he needed to improve his rebounding, but, I thought that he's capable of that every night. He's capable of that every night. That should be the expectation. That's my expectation for him. And yet when he goes to rebound, he's a good rebounder. And, again, I think Watkins, give him some credit. We probably didn't go to Giorgi enough early and got away from that because he was off to a pretty decent start. But, Giorgi should be a double-double guy in this league more than one time, multiple times.
Isaac? Kipper and Tev both struggled defensively, especially on Stevens. How do you get them locked in defensively each and every night? Is that a struggle for you right now?
Well, in Tev, it's the weight room. We're not going to create that one overnight. That's being able to just mature and grow. There's a difference. When one guy weighs 205 pounds, the other weighs 230, and then it's all the credit goes to him. He's done that to everybody. I mean, he's done that to Michigan and Nebraska, and like I said, he's playing as well as any combo forward in our league right now, and he does it with athleticism, and he's ultra competitive.
Brett in the back.
How well did you feel Andres played and what he was able to do and get into the rim, and how much of a difference did that make to even keep you in the game, Brad?
No, he's huge. He's been tremendous. I mean, Andres loves physicality. So that type of game was a game meant for him. And he's a guy that is not afraid to challenge. He knows how to use his body and strength. He's really strong. Dre has an incredible lower body. I mean, his lower body is really strong. You don't ever see him get redirected coming off screens, even when he takes a little bump. And You know, it was disappointing he missed a couple free throws in the first half at the time he missed them. But, yeah, he's been tremendous the last 2 months.
Eric?
Trent kind of struggling tonight shooting the ball and just kind of getting involved offensively. Do you kind of credit that to Penn State taking him out, or do you just feel like Trent just didn't have a good game?
Well, one, it was a morning game, so that's a challenge sometimes for Trent. But I give them credit. I mean, they sat on top of the ball screens all night long. They were very, very physical with him. They basically eliminated any of our ball screen action with the physicality and sitting on top of it, and then forcing them into Watkins. And again, they deserve a lot of the credit.
Isaac?
Kipper has that breakout game against Nebraska, and then he has like 11 points in the next 5 games. How do you get him going? Where is he at mentally right now?
I mean, keeps working hard. It'll happen again at some point. I think it's about, you guys worry about the points, I don't, and the shooting. Yeah, that comes. It's the other stuff that goes along with that. The fight, not the competitive stuff. So he'll continue to work and he'll have another one of those before it's over.
Brad?
Giorgi shoots the ball in practice. Does he have a red light to shoot the 15-footer from you, or is that his own mental thing? Because they basically were giving him the elbow jumper today, weren't really contesting it, just to leave Watkins down in the paint. Is that by his design, your design, or is he just?
No, I think we want him shooting that. That's one of the things he's very good at, is shooting 15-foot elbow jumpers. I'll have to look at it a little more. I mean, we feel really comfortable with him shooting. I don't necessarily want him out shooting threes yet, but he's very good in the elbows. Shoots it all the time in practice, and I think feels like he's more comfortable maybe attacking the rim and getting it there. But, we're sure not discouraging that. That adds another dimension to our offense.
Here in the middle.
AJ pulled up a little lame there after he fouled late in the second half. Was that just a cramp, or was that something more serious? He seemed to be in a lot of pain.
That's a good question. I haven't talked to the trainer yet. I got to find out. I don't know yet.
Anything else for Coach?